Hi beauty fam, welcome back to MikiCarrBeauty. I'm Miki, and on my channel I love to talk about luxury skincare and beauty. And today I am doing a review of the new Chanel Face Eyeshadow Highlighter Quad in 958 Caractere. And that is the deeper of the two shade options. So if you want to see two looks that I came up with and then me playing with three different lipsticks from the spring release for the lipsticks, then keep watching. But before we continue, please consider subscribing below and then clicking on the ring notification for all so you get notification of when I upload a video so you don't miss out. And commenting and liking below helps out my channel. So let's begin. So I'm going in with the lightest neutral shade here, and it's in the back it's labeled medium, but there's two colors named medium. And what I love about this crease shade is that it looks kind of really like a muted neutral shade, and it's probably, at least for my skin tone, the best crease shade because it's pretty neutral and it's doesn't look as red as the other two shades. And so I'm just evening that up. And then I'm showing you here the two other shades, trying to figure out what is the color to use next. One is more berry pink and more is more like a maroon. And I'm going into the strawberry kind of bright red shade. And I really actually love this shade. It has a lot of kick to it. So you can see how this is just a really beautiful like strawberry red. I usually don't get along with reds, and I thought this was a beautiful Chanel red, perfect for spring. And it just really kind of elevated the look. And so I'm just taking the same brush I started with for the crease shade and then buffing out and blending the two colors, giving it more dimension. And then I'm going into that deeper mauve, deeper red shade to use as a liner to give some definition as well. And I found it to be a little bit too intense, so I didn't want to use it so dramatically on the bottom line, but just on the outer edge of my liner. And that's how I do my liner. And so I'm taking that more neutral shade and then using that all on the bottom just because it's a little bit more neutral and less intense, because I didn't want to have a completely red eye look, if that makes sense. And then going into that beautiful shimmer shade. It's very gold. I love it. It's something that I like to do with shimmer shades is use my finger to see the intensity, and I'm just one of those people that I'm okay using my hands and my fingers, and I just find that I get a better impact with shimmer shades. So I'm playing with it, feeling the texture. It's not super creamy. And the thing about Chanel shimmer shades are that they're really classy looking. They're not overly done like Pat McGrath or Natasha Denona. Now I'm going into a Sonia G Sky Series. I think it's a shader brush, and using that to see if I can build up the glitter shade, the shimmer shade. And it's really nice. I had more control that way. Okay, so I'm done with the eye look, and I'll get in so you can see closer. Pretty much try to use all the colors, and this is probably the second time I'm using this palette. And it almost doesn't look red after I put all the makeup. It just looks like a reddish brown, which is really, really nice. It's very like wearable, kind of an everyday look. It goes really well with my complexion, which I'm a medium warm tan complected, but it looks really nice. Yesterday, and I'll have some other looks in this video as well, I used mostly these two in my crease. But yesterday I used a lot of this bright color in my crease. I just wanted to see what that looked like, and that was also really fun. It wasn't too super out there, so it still worked. And there's not much difference other than it looked really bright and almost kind of like an orangey hue, which is actually quite nice. I think it's really nice for spring. Okay, what I'm going to do now is a demo of this as a blush and a highlighter. So I've definitely used these two as a blush, but I haven't used this as a highlighter yet. I'm wondering if it's too gold for me. It might be too much, but we're gonna just try it because it's supposed to be a face palette. It's still pretty pigmented, and I haven't seen anyone else's review, so I'm just going based on what I remember. So let me just do some swatches again because it helps me remember. Yes, I remember this one being really, really bright. So I like these two as kind of like a warm berry color, which is nice. And I think this one was like really, really bright on me. So let's try these two right here. So I'm actually going to go into this deeper one here and see what that looks like on the back. And the only thing I have is, I don't have bronzer on yet. I do have a little bit of contour just to chisel out. That's really pigmented already. So I would say still go, if you're my complexion or lighter, go light on this. And it's this one right here. Foncé Dark. This one is Foncé Dark is the one I'm using. It looks really nice back there. Okay, now I'm going to try to use the color Medium. Actually, they're all called medium. I don't know if these are names. It says medium, and then this is light. So they're not real shade names. Okay, so I'm using this one up here. Okay, using a different brush entirely, using the Sonia G cheek brush. This is my probably favorite cheek brush in my collection. Just going into this one here because it's a little bit more neutral and just kind of popping that in the front. I don't know if you can see a difference. It's a little bit cooler toned and not as intense. It's really nice. Okay, so those are the two colors used as blush. This one down here in the back, and then this one towards the front. And if I were to be honest, like it doesn't look like two different colors. They work really nice together. I'm taking a Sonia G Detail Pro brush and just going super light on this. Okay, it's not that bad. I think it does show texture, so I don't know if I would really want to use this as a highlighter. In a pinch, it'd be nice. I mean, it does look nice actually on the camera. I can see that it does look flattering. So maybe just buffing it out a bit. It would be a very subtle highlight. It definitely shows up more texture than I prefer. Let me know if you can see the texture on there. Maybe I'm just more hyper aware of it because I just have my preferences on highlighters and how it appears. And I think this works better as a eyeshadow shade versus a highlight shade. And then I'll put some here. And it's so subtle, I don't really see it here. Okay, we'll see how this looks. I'm picked the color Essentielle, which is this one here. It's from the spring release of the Rouge Allure Velvet, Rouge Allure lipsticks. I think this bright one, the red one, is too bright for me. It's Inspirante. Okay, it's very much more pink, but I think that's okay. Maybe I'll mix it a little bit with my number 60 Intemporelle, which is like a beigey color, just to bring down the color a little bit. Yeah, I like that a lot better. So I like to mix my lipsticks, just, sometimes you all ask me like what color I have on my lipsticks, and I try to remember, but if I don't, I just don't. So this was a mixture of two of the releases from the Rouge Allure, 60 and 63. And I love to cocktail my lipsticks. I think that's like a nicer match with this color story. Don't you think? That's nice. So this look I did the day before, same exact base Chanel makeup. The only difference on this eye look is that I use the upper left strawberry bright red color for my entire crease shade and use that deepest one for the outer V. And I actually liked this look the best in terms of like a springy summer pop look. And when I went out later that day, I actually got compliments on my makeup. Why don't we talk about this Caractere and 958 Caractere? So I decided for sure not to get the lighter one because the swatches I had seen were very, very light on even people with fair skin. And for me, my closest foundations are shades are below in the description box, so you might want to scroll down and see. So in the Chanel Ultra Le Temps, which I have on today, I wear the color BD51, which is kind of like the warmer shades in this collection. What's really nice about this palette is that I actually feel like it's nice in that it warms up my complexion. And I think this would be really, really good for beauties who with a deeper skin tone than me. So kudos to Chanel for doing that. I kind of wish they have three, and that's always kind of my thing. I wish they had one that was for fair people, medium, and then deep skin beauties. That's kind of like what I'm hoping for, but I know not all brands are going to do that. So I'll just put that out there. So I will usually go over to the deep complected or deep palettes just because I don't want to have to work that hard to make something show up. So I hope that helps of like my process of why I decided to get the deeper one. So this is the second look that I'm doing. I think it's really beautiful. What I'm noticing, at least I don't see a difference in the looks between this one and that other look I did. It's one is like more a reddish brown, like this one, it's the way it's showing up on camera, and the other was like more of like a bright orangey red. So I had put that over my lids, and yeah, actually some people made some like nice comments to me about like my makeup looking nice yesterday. I think what I'll say is that I like this face palette a lot. I do wish that there was a little bit more variety between these three colors. I like that they put this in as a possible highlight, so I did use it. It's not my favorite, but in a pinch I could use it as a face palette. I definitely used it as the highlight of my, inner mobile lids. I just think that these three colors are too similar. And I just wish that they use a different color. So let me, I swatched them with my fingers, you can see here. And on the face, you can't really tell a difference. It's very, very similar. And I kind of wish, like, instead of maybe one of these shades, they actually put in like a brown, like a plummy brown red. Like something deeper would have been nice. Like I kept on feeling like I wanted to reach for a brown because I would love to use these to deepen up the outer V or as a liner. I don't like, I just don't feel like these are buildable enough to use as a liner. And I just feel like I wanted something deeper like a brown. I think for me to feel like this was like a really comprehensive palette, like it would have been nice if they put like a matte black or matte brown. That would have been my preference. And also the other reason I was thinking it would be nice to have a brown was that it would be nice to have the brown to deepen the V, a plummy brown to deepen the V, create like an eyeliner, because sometimes I like to use palettes, the deepest shade, as a liner if I'm in a pinch and don't have eyeliner. And the third thing I was like, I could use that as a contour or bronzer, right? Yeah, and that's something I've seen with face palettes do. I haven't seen that so much with Natasha Denona, but definitely Charlotte Tilbury has had that face palette where she's done like, she tells you like eyes, shimmer, cheek, and bronzer. So I kind of wish they did something like that instead of three of these. And yeah, I just thought that could have been designed better. But if you're interested in Chanel as a face palette, I definitely enjoy this better than any sort of Charlotte Tilbury face palette I've tried and used. I generally don't like face palettes, and the reason why, might have been another video, is that if one of them doesn't work for me, I get kind of not happy. I'm not happy about that because I want all of it to work as a face palette. So the downside is I think one of the Charlotte Tilbury face palettes, I can't remember what it was, like the blush shade, I didn't really like because I had a lot of shimmer. I don't like shimmer on it. So the nice thing about these, even though it's like not a flat matte, there's like a sheen to it, but it doesn't emphasize texture. So that's really nice. I think that's like Asian person friendly, like what's when we're talking about having things that work for aging skin. That's something I look for. And I'm just reapplying again so you can see this. So this is that shade up here. So you can see how nice that is. And I'm not going out the rest of the day, so what I'll do is actually use the bright one down here because I could just clean that off, and then I'll show you this bright shade. It's much brighter. So this is that color down here, right here, and the less bright one is here. So it's really subtle. And I would definitely use, again, this in the center, one of these, and then if you want to do draping, you can just go with the lighter shades in the front. And in fact, I'll do that. So I'll use this bottom one here, and then use that in the front. And it's quite pretty. I think these are really, I actually like these more as blushers, I have to say. They look fine, they look really nice, and I'm just tapping it down because it's like a lot of blush. I think it looks really pretty on the eyes, but I just enjoy them much more as blush. And I know that some of you know that the Chanel blush formula got reformulated, I want to say last year, and that was a wrap for me. I don't think I bought any more Chanel blushes after they reformulated it, and I actually have mostly just the I think I have one of the old formulas. So I think if you're interested in this face palette as eye, cheek, or just one or the other, I think it's worth it. I don't have the eyeshadows from the Lucia Pica era, and a lot of those were what is that, the Can Do? A lot of those were red, and so some people were like, oh no, they saw this and they were like, oh, Lucia Pica again. So I could see this being redundant for you if you have a lot of that collection already, but I don't have that. So for me, I actually really like it. I could see myself traveling with it. I think it's beautiful. I do have the Chanel 58 Intensité from last year, So this is more of like a cool tone berry mauve. Okay, so this intensity is definitely more mauve-y leaning. It's very similar to those two colors. And you can see these are more like purple. And even that red is more like a burgundy red. I love this palette. It was actually in one of my favorites of last year. And then I have the only blush I have now, and I don't have any more Chanel blushes because I wasn't happy with the new formulation. Chanel Malice. It's definitely not a dupe. And the closest would be this bottom one. That's the color Malice, and it's definitely more pink. So that's, yeah, it's definitely pink. So that's not a dupe. So I don't think in my collection, at least for the Chanels, I don't have any dupes. I don't have any dupes for the Chanels. And I know some people definitely have more of an extensive Chanel collection than I do. So if you have the 2 or 3 reddish quads from the Lucia Pica days, this is likely a close dupe. But if you don't have colors like this in your collection, then you might want to pick this up. I think this might be limited edition. So just, you know, you might want to consider it. And do you need it? No, but I'm very rarely going to say that you need this makeup, but you might want to pick it up because a lot of times it'll eventually just cycle out within Chanel. So one last thing I do want to do is I'm noticing like this color is definitely more red and less pink. So I'm actually grabbing my color Inspirante 53. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so that now is a combination of 3 different lipsticks. I've used number 60 Intemporelle, 63 Essentielle, and then 53 Inspirante. I just love to cocktail my lipsticks. I don't know what to say. I think that really looks nice with this collection. What do you think? Yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this purchase. I ended up ordering through, I believe her name is Paloma. Maybe I'll put the contact in below if you want to contact the sales associate in the Chanel boutique who I ordered from. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'm just thinking like, this is the second day I'm using this look, and I'm really excited to use these as blushers. And if you're interested in getting this face palette, I wouldn't sleep on it because it's likely going to either, I don't know if it's going to sell out. The thing is with Chanel, once makeup has cycled through one season, it's likely gone the second season, especially if it's a very popular item. Compared to what you're getting in a quad, it's big, right? So I feel like you're definitely getting your money's worth, and yeah, I'm really happy I picked it up. I was a little bit on the fence of whether to get this because I don't really care for face palettes, but they're not calling it a complete face palette. It's really an eyeshadow and cheek palette. So, and highlighter if you want. So I've used all 3 of those things today. Tell me what you think. And if that was helpful, please consider subscribing below and clicking the notification bell. And that way you get notification of when I upload a new video, and then commenting and liking below helps out my engagement. So I'd appreciate that as well. And as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, beauty fam, and just be you. Take care until the next video. Take care. Bye.